Our first voyage is a watery one. Deep within a woman's body, in the darkness, cells divide again and again. Once, there was almost nothing that looked like much, but tended and guarded in that watery dark. The fragile, near invisible, almost nothing became you. Your mother's blood, and maybe her bones, fed you. Constantly you were held and rocked. You were never alone, never hungry, never dirty. Your mother was herself your food, your clothing, your shelter, your breath. She grew large, grew tired, grew uncomfortable. Then the water that held you trembled with a movement that came not just from her, but through her. And one way or the other, you came to light, wet with water and marked with your mother's blood. Then you felt cold or hot or hungry or alone. Perhaps you remembered then the time before when you floated weightless, but you contended with gravity now. Your limbs had a troubling freedom. You learned to fear and to be comforted, to get your hands dirty and then to wash them, to walk and then to fall and to walk again. Birth and many of the things that precede and attend and are implied by birth provides potent, formative, and enduring metaphors, which is perhaps another way of saying that many stories can be told as birth stories. Birth is a metaphor for creative work, for risks worth taking, for pain that resolves into joy, for new beginnings, for struggle that is rewarded. Our language links thought itself with that which precedes birth, conception. A person who helps an idea or a process along its journey, and birth is a journey, is sometimes likened to a midwife. When we mean to communicate how vulnerable we feel, we speak of assuming the fetal position. Also implied in birth, though these metaphors are less commonly discussed, are connection and separation, community and individuality, risk and sacrifice, life from death, darkness that gives way to light. I have read that a woman's body acquires cells from each of the babies she carries, even as early as 7 weeks into pregnancy. Those cells become part of her brain, part of her kidneys, even part of her beating heart. Scientists say that this may be protective, a boon to health, or it may be harmful, a contamination. This biological phenomenon seems merely to confirm what many women speak of as emotional and metaphorical experience, the sense that children, and even pregnancies that do not result in living children, change you, stay with you, become part of you in one way or another, in ways that are joyful and intimate, and in ways that are painful and intrusive. So too do all our journeys and endeavors and relationships leave their marks, for better and worse. To bring anything new into the world is to open oneself and therefore to take on risk, to contaminate oneself with the other, to be made vulnerable. This requires not just courage, but many things, among them faith, hope, help, companionship, grace, in a word, love. But if what we seek is fertility, if we seek productive power, fruitfulness, generativity, we cannot maintain sterility. We dare not, therefore, be too protective. Sex that's potentially generative of babies is sometimes referred to as unprotected. Unprotected is more or less what we need to be when we dare to create or to love. Bringing something new to light requires us to dive fully into the water. This book is about that plunge.